Petition. John. Wagwan. What's up, TikTok? We had a very successful video the other day, you know. A lot of people reach out to me, say they love the message we have spread. We intend to keep it that way. Of course, this morning video is just a short video. Answer a few messages that ended up in my DM for the first time. Feel like I'm going places. People messaging me, asking me questions. So this morning video is all about answering 2 or 3 of those questions that I received. Of course, for me Sunday morning is all about groundedness, you know. For me on a Sunday morning is all about just recentering yourself, you know what I mean? Replenishing the spirit, replenishing the body and the mind, you know what I mean? So yeah, in Jamaica we have secular music and we have gospel music. So like on a Sunday morning, every Jamaican house you go is always gospel. It's unlike the radio station over here, like it's just one kind of music, 7 days a week and the same kind of music. Where I'm from, Sunday morning, no secular. It's all about gospel music. Of course, in sweet voice, respond. Of course, I'm listening. Ever lose sight of the fact that I care? I have power to make all art and I don't care what you believe in, you know. Come again, Church Garden. I don't care what you believe in. You have to believe in something. You have to believe in that. Whether you believe in a science or you believe in a God. But believing is the starting point of all things. You have to believe in something. Sunday morning, top form worship. And this morning, we have a special little reasoning lineup this morning. We are going to talk about a few things that we learn along the way. Because a few people message me and ask me what kind of books am I currently reading. Yes, that was one of the questions that ended up in my DM. What kind of books am I currently reading? And we're going to show you the books that we have been reading for the past 4 years. That books that we thought transform our life and our way of thinking. Alright, and from each book, we're going to give you a sentence or a phrase or the part that impacted us the most. So you're not going to want to miss this reasoning. Man, wait till we get about 3 people. We're not going to wait. We have 1 people. Because we know some people jump in and out of TikTok room because if you're not naked and not show your breast or your body, they're not really stick. But don't worry yourself. You see? Top form where? We are going to be showing you. Somebody asked me what kind of books have I been reading. And I'm genuinely going to share some of the books that I've been reading. Some of the most impactful books. Because hear the truth. What's the difference between the man who can read and won't read and the man who can't read? There's no difference. The result is ignorancy. Never forget that. You hear that? Here you go. Here we go. See the next one? Can you see that? Can you see that? This page is all about personal development. It's all about overcoming stuff. It's all about using what we call your will to power. So somebody asked me what kind of books have I been reading, and I genuinely want to take 10 minutes out of my day and to share it. I want to share with people the books that I've been reading for the past 4 years. I've recently started reading when the virus slowed down the country because I didn't read before. I used to have a philosophy. There's philosophy that said, if you want to hide something from me, hide it into a book. My life changed when me start to read. So hopefully at the end of this video, you can do the same thing, all right? So I'm genuinely going to answer that one question that ended up in my DM from a reason I did the other day. Said, what kind of books have I been reading? Right? I'm going to take the time out to share a few of the most profound books that I've came across that I would say transform my life in a positive way. and have a positive impact on my life. And hopefully by the time I finish with this reasoning, then you will read some, all right? Of course. There we go. There we go. There's a next one. There's a next one I'm showing you, and I'm genuinely going to be telling you the most profound bits that I've extracted from these books. There you go. Sight. There you go. I'm going to be sharing some of the most profound books that I've came across that let me have a level of self-belief and self-confidence in myself that is unshakable, that is unbreakable. And remember, there's no difference between the man who can read and the man who won't read, and the man who can't read, because the end result is still ignorance. So by the end of this video, remember, I'm not a naked girl over here, so not everybody are going to find this page useful. We're all about top form. It's about will to power. Okay? It's about will to power. Make the sacrifice, pay the price. We're going to share some of the most profound books that we have came across over the past 4 years that transform our life and our way of thinking. We're not rush the reason. Can you see that one? For the temptation. Can you see this one? For the, as the voice after one, Judge Garden. Judge Garden. As I said before, thank you. As I said before, right? This morning reasoning is a short reason, because you don't have to draw out the truth, because you don't have to fabricate the truth. The truth is the truth. All right, so you don't need to add and you don't need to take away from the truth. So I'm going to show you the books them. I don't ever count them. Right, with me here, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. All right. Somebody asked me, I did a reason the other day, and somebody asked me, what are the books that I've been reading? All right. And I decided, all right, this morning I've got a Sunday morning, I've got some time. So I'm going to share some of the books. And the first book I actually read was this book. I was listening to this guy called Jim Rohn, and he was talking about the seasons of life. And he briefly mentioned the book called The Richest Man in Babylon. He said that he likes to read and teach this book to kids because it's very simple. And it's a very simple to read, and it's very simple to understand this book. This book is all about financial freedom. This book is all about understanding that and for me, the most important part I took from this book was said that a part of what I earn is mine to keep. Right? Listen to me. A part of what I earn is mine to keep. So what does that mean? I pay myself first. Everybody come after. All right. So this book was the first book I actually read, because I was listening to this guy named Jim Rohn, and he was talking about financial freedom in one of his tapes that called Seasons of Life. So if you never read this book, because the whole financial premise or the whole financial structure that we live in this day and age is literally structured around this book. All right. Everything that you see happening in this world right now, right? Because if you don't got good credit, all right? If you don't got good credit, there's no point to applying for a loan, because the bank is not. So the whole financial system is structured around this book. Because even sometimes we have friends and family that we lend our hard-earned cash to, knowing that they're not going to pay us back, right? So even if we apply this kind of principle to our daily life, you won't have to argue with people for your hard-earned money. This book, because the whole financial and the economical system, the principles that they employ is taken from this book. There's not a financial institution out there would lend you $1 if they don't deem you capable of paying back that money. And from time to time, we take up money and we lend to family and friends, knowing that they are not capable of paying us back that money. And what happens sometimes, it destroys relationship, it destroys friendship. But if you would read this book and apply those principles to you, because in this book it refers to the money as slave. All right? And the richest man who wind up the richest man in this book was actually a slave, and he traded his time for knowledge. Again, so even that nowadays, sometimes somebody may want offer you a job and you might think, say, it's not going to pay me enough. But sometimes you have to look, how can I monetize what I'm going to learn? You understand me? So in this book, it's all about the guy build something for a rich merchant. And he did not ask for money. Because the merchant was way richer than him. And he said to the rich merchant, how can I get as rich as you? And he said, tell you what, I'm in a rush, but if you make this for me, I will teach you what you need to know. And so this book, if you don't read this book, then you can't. So, again, the reason why I'm doing this morning, somebody asked me, what are the books that I've been reading? And I come across this during the pandemic. So for a lot of people, pandemic was maybe 3 or 4 years of them life really wasted. For me, it was 4 years or 3 years of my life that I really used to turn my life around in a different direction. After I read this book, I came across this book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, if you never read this book, because a lot of us grew up in a toxic home, and a lot of us end up in toxic relationship where people tell you that you're no good for nothing, where people perception of you becomes your reality because you don't understand that as a man thinketh in so is he, right? So you let people tell you that you're not good or you won't come to nothing in life, and you kind of internalize that and you carry that around with you. This book really unpicked my philosophy of growing up. From where I grew up to where even in your own community, people don't expect you to come to nothing. People know. So this book, if you never read this book, As a Man Thinketh, again, the part when it says serenity, right? And talk about self-control. So we don't live our life in ignorance in our days. It's not going to really provoke me. You understand? Because the most profound bit that I took from this, and there's a countless amount of times I had to implement this in my life. Many a good men sour their good life because they don't have self-control. Right? So you don't go to your work, you don't in your good job, and somebody come and provoke you, bust up him head and lick him down and lose your work. You understand me? So for me, in that moment, I realized that, I have to control myself. I can't make somebody provoke me. I was at work one day, and somebody stepped right up into my face, square up, with me want to fight me. And I just look upon him and I say, sometimes your faith have to be tested. So in this book, he talk about, and the most profound bit I take from this book was the part that said, many are good men sour their good life because they don't have self-control. So we learn that from this book. Many lessons. We listen to this book at least once a month or twice a month. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So are you following me so far? I don't want you to get lost in the reasoning. Learn about financial freedom. We learn about self-control. Alright? As a Man Thinketh. After we came across that, we're lucky and privileged to came across this book. Think and Grow Rich. It's not a fly-by riches book, but it's a book that tells you that you have to have the desire, because desire is a starting point of everything. Alright? So this book, As a Man Thinketh by Napoleon Hill. Alright? And it tell you about Edison. And the guy that only thing he had was the desire was to work with Edison and everything. So we learn about desire, we learn about commitment, we learn about everything. This book, As a Man Thinketh, if you never read it, because a lot of people go out and a lot of people write personal development book or self-help book, and it's just like a fly-by book. But this book has got the principle that if you really apply these principles to your life, you will see a difference. Alright, As a Man Thinketh by Napoleon Hill. If you never can remember, I'm going to say it again. What is the difference between the man who can't read, the man who can read but won't read? The result is ignorancy. Alright, TikTok is a great platform for those who want to watch and learn. This again, we came across this book, right? The Philosophy of Self-Discipline. I will say it again. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline. Alright, and this talk about the great men, the great thinkers. Alright, some of the great thinkers like who told us about using your will to power. Alright, the Friedrich Nietzsche's. Right, because as a youth we grew up and we don't grow up, we got private school and we got public education and we never put value on education. And so we came across this book. This book was such an eye-opener to me. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline. And it was from this book that we found that profound phrase, will to power. Every living thing uses their will to power. What makes a difference in your life and my life is if I choose to use my will to power. So sometimes we come up against obstacles in life and we give up. That means that means you're not using that driving force. So when you go to work and you feel like you have to work a bit extra harder, and you might feel like nobody not seeing you, and you might know you cannot give up, because the moment you give up, that's the moment you stop using your will to power. So if you're just joining me, somebody asked me, what are the books that I've read that changed? Because I did a video the other day talk about the tools that life required. So if you're just joining me, no particular, I do it in order. The first book I read was The Richest Man in Babylon. No freedom like financial freedom. You do what you want when you want. You can't tell who to kiss where and who to chuck where. There's no freedom like financial freedom. George Clayson. Okay. After that we read As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This book is so profound. If you read this book, then you will understand a lot of things that's going right and a lot of things that's going wrong in your life. As a Man Thinketh. After that we came across Think and Grow Rich. And from this book we understand desire. We understand a lot of life principles that we need to implement, because our thanks are the like. So listen to me, there's no difference between a man that success at experience, because unless a man with success had like 2 brain, every man have 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 2 ears. But life is written down in these books. And unless you choose to read it, then it's on you. Nobody going to force you to read it. After we read that, we read the philosophy of self-discipline. And from that we take and understand the will to power, a phrase that was coined by Friedrich Nietzsche. Alright. After that, we understand this one, the science of getting rich. This book allows you to have peace within yourself. This book allows you to understand that you don't have to grudge no one, because no one has anything that belongs to you. This book allows you to understand there is no lack in this world. What's lacking is your imagination. This book, The Science of Getting Rich. If I'm trying to help, because somebody asked me, what books have I read? And seriously. This book, The Science of Everything Getting Rich, requires it's a science to getting rich. Honestly, there's a science. Okay? This book helps so my extract from this book, or the profoundness I take from this book, no one has anything that belongs to me. I don't have to see somebody with something and begrudge them. I don't have to upset God and tell God he did not create enough. Enough is in this world for everybody, all right? And that was what I get from this book. After that, because I see myself as an entrepreneur, I started my clothing brand called Top Form Wear Will to Power. This book allows me to know that I must not quit. This book, 3 Feet from Gold. It helped me to understand that many more gold is mined from the mind of men that's been taken from the earth. It also tells me about the guy that did not value knowledge after he struck gold. He just wanted to get it from the earth. He did not go and seek the proper person to help him to understand. Alright, go and read this book. It also helped me to understand that first come the dream, then come the struggle. And that's where a lot of people give up. Alright, it also helped me to understand, seek counsel, not opinion. So if you have a dream, or you have a goal, or you have something that you want to do, seek counsel from the persons who is successful, or persons who is doing what you want to do. Don't go and ask your family member. Don't go and ask your mother. Don't go and ask your sister. Don't go and ask your brother. Because they will give you their opinion that's not rooted in facts. So this book told me, seek counsel, not opinion. I don't want your opinion. I genuinely do not want your opinion. And this book, so if you never read this book, it is written by Sharon Lee and Greg Reed. Alright? And it's It's a very good book for entrepreneur because sometimes you will get disheartened. Sometimes you might feel like, why are you even doing what you're doing? But within this book, the most profound book piece I've taken from this book, and I've written it on my whiteboard. First come the dream, then come the struggles. And it's at the struggles that a lot of people give up. All right? So if you want me to repeat it, because I know I'm probably speaking too fast. First come the dream, then comes the struggles. And it's at the struggles that a lot of people give up. Don't let that be you. If you have your dream, understand that it's going to come with struggles. It's going to come with ups and downs. It's going to come with highs. It's going to come with lows. All right? I might show you some more books that I've been reading. But feel free to drop me a like, drop me a follow. Because I still haven't got into a lot more books that I've been reading. Because reading is key. Knowledge is power. Ain't nobody going to come and save you. All right? You have to save yourself. And how do you do that? Find the tools that life requires and use them. Remember, it's top form. It's will to power. It's make the sacrifice. It's pay the price. All right? Have a blessed Sunday. I'm going to close out because I don't do long videos because you don't have to fabricate the truth. So you can just do a nice, quick, short video and bless the people and leave them. Personal development. There's no other development. Unless it is real estate development. But if not, you better work on personal development. If you not work on real estate development, make sure you work on personal development. It's top form where it's will to power. It's make the sacrifice and it's pay the price. I know me say it. Of course, top form where I'm going to leave you this morning. All right, so again, I was just answering my DM message that somebody asked me, what are the books have I read or what are the books I'm currently reading? So I just thought I would use the opportunity to stop by at my page. I've had a few follows recently. Thank you for those who follow me. It's a top form where it's a philosophy brand. Top form where is all about the philosophy that you believe in. What does the philosophy say about the philosopher? And what does the philosopher say about the philosophy? If you find somebody with the right philosophy and you find the right philosophy to guide your life, then you become unstoppable. All right? Remember, what does the philosophy say about the philosopher and what does the philosopher say about the philosophy? Doesn't matter what way you look at it. If you find the right philosophy, if you find the right driving force, if you find the right thing to believe in life, right? You will be fine. You'll be unstoppable. Top form.